Have you ever looked closely at your hands? Have you ever noticed that the lines of your palm draw unique and particular shapes? And have you ever thought that these signs could tell the story of your soul, reveal your destiny, show you the path to your true nature? For centuries in different cultures, palmistry has been practiced, the art of reading destiny in the lines of the hand. But today, we want to talk to you about something that goes beyond palmistry and that has profoundly spiritual implications. We will talk to you about a particular sign, a symbol full of mystery and charm, the crescent moon. If you put your palms together and look closely at the heart line, you may notice a small crescent-shaped curve. It is not a common sign, but those who possess it are destined for an extraordinary life. In this story, we will guide you to discover the deep meaning of the crescent moon. We will reveal the 5 great changes you will experience in life if you have this sign on your hand. And if you stick around until the end, we'll reveal a secret that will leave you breathless, a secret that will forever change the way you look at this ancient symbol. But before continuing, subscribe to the channel and activate notifications. Also, look at the links in the video description. The full moon shone high in the sky, illuminating the temple garden with a silvery light. Paper lanterns, hanging from the branches of the cherry blossom trees, swayed gently in the night breeze, creating a magical and evocative atmosphere. The pilgrims, wrapped in their colorful kimonos, sat in religious silence around Master Genshin, whose face, illuminated by the moonlight, emanated an aura of peace and wisdom. "Dear disciples," the Master began with a warm and enveloping voice, "you have come here in search of answers, of guidance for your spiritual journey. Look at your hands." With a slow, solemn gesture, Genshin pressed his palms together, revealing the thin, crescent-shaped line that formed where the heart lines met. "This sign," he continued, "is a seal, a promise of an extraordinary destiny. If you have the crescent moon on your hand, 5 great changes will manifest in your life. The first change is the awakening of intuition, that is, perceiving the invisible. The world, my dears, is not only what appears to our senses. There is a deeper reality invisible to the eyes, but no less real. It is the world of subtle energies, emotions, spiritual connections. The crescent moon is like an antenna that allows you to tune into this dimension, to perceive the invisible." Genshin told the story of a young woman named Akiko who possessed the crescent moon sign. Akiko had always had a special sensitivity, an ability to sense people's moods, to feel the energies of the environment. One day, while walking in a forest, he felt a strong sensation of sickness coming from a tree. As he approached, he discovered that the tree was diseased, infested with parasites. Thanks to her intuition, Akiko managed to save the tree, applying a natural remedy that had been suggested to her by an inner voice. "He who carries the crescent moon on his hand," the Master continued, "can develop a strong intuition, an ability to understand situations on a deeper level, to pick up on signals that others do not see. You can feel the presence of spirit guides, receive messages from the universe, have premonitions. It is important to learn to listen to this inner voice, to trust your instincts." Empathy and compassion have to do with the second change you will experience, building bridges between hearts. The crescent moon is also a symbol of connection, of union between heaven and earth, between the spiritual and the material world. Those who possess this sign have a natural predisposition to empathy, compassion, understanding of others. They are a bridge between hearts, a peacemaker, a healer of the soul. Genshin told the story of a man named Taro who worked as a nurse in a hospital. Taro had the gift of bringing comfort to patients, not only with medical care, but also with his presence, with his listening, with his ability to understand their pain. Patients felt understood, welcomed, reassured by his presence. Taro was a true guardian angel who brought relief and hope to those who suffered. Whoever carries the crescent moon on his hand, the master explained, can use his empathy to help others, to create authentic and profound relationships, to bring harmony to families and communities. He is called to be a messenger of peace, a bearer of light in a world often dominated by suffering and conflict. As a third change, remember that the crescent moon is a symbol of fertility, growth, renewal. Whoever owns it has a strong creative energy, a fertile imagination, and ability to give shape to their dreams. It can be expressed through art, music, writing, dance, or even simply through the way you live your life. Genshin told the story of a young artist named Hana, who had loved to draw since she was a child. Hana had the gift of seeing the world through different eyes, of seeing the beauty hidden in the simplest things. His drawings were full of vibrant colors, original shapes, intense emotions. His works of art brought joy and inspiration to those who admired them. He who carries the crescent moon on his hand, said the master, is called to express his creativity, to share his talents with the world. He can create beauty, bring innovation, inspire others with his originality. His life itself can become a work of art, a unique and unrepeatable masterpiece. The value of solitude or finding yourself in silence concerns the fourth fundamental change you will experience. Those who possess the sign of the crescent moon, Genshin continued, often feel the need for moments of solitude, of silence, of introspection. He does not fear solitude, but seeks it as an opportunity to connect with his soul, to listen to his inner voice, to find his own truth. Genshin told the story of a monk named Kenji, who had spent years in solitary meditation in a hut in the mountains. Kenji had learned to love silence, to find inner peace in the contemplation of nature. His solitude was not isolation, but a journey of self-discovery, a path of spiritual growth. Solitude, the master explained, is not an escape from the world, but a way to know oneself better, to strengthen one's spirit, to find one's mission in life. Whoever carries the crescent moon on his hand can find in solitude a source of inspiration, creativity, inner peace. The fifth point I want to talk to you about reminds us that life must be lived as a work of art, living with intention and authenticity, said the master. Whoever has the crescent moon on his hand is called to live his life with intention, with awareness, with authenticity. He is not satisfied with a banal life, but tries to give a deep meaning to every experience, to every encounter, to every day. Transform your life into a work of art, a unique and unrepeatable masterpiece. Genshin told the story of a woman named Yumiko who had dedicated her life to helping children in need. Yumiko had created a school in a small village where she taught children not only school subjects, but also the values of love, compassion, and respect. Her life was an example of dedication, altruism, and service to others. He who carries the crescent moon on his hand, said the master, is called to live a life full of meaning, to leave a positive mark on the world. You can do it through big gestures or small daily actions. The important thing is to act with love, with compassion, with the awareness of being part of something bigger. Master Genshin paused, letting his words resonate in the silence of the night. The moon was now shining high in the sky, and the paper lanterns were waving like fireflies among the branches of the cherry trees. The pilgrims, enraptured by the master's words, sat in silence, their hearts filled with hope and wonder. Genshin, smiling enigmatically, stood up. "I promised you a secret," he said, "a secret that will leave you breathless." He paused, building an atmosphere of suspense. The crescent, he finally revealed, is not just a sign of fate, but a door. A door that leads to another dimension, a parallel world where anything is possible. The pilgrims looked at each other in amazement. "A parallel world?" asked a young woman in a trembling voice. "Yes," Genshin confirmed. "Whoever possesses the crescent on their hand has the ability to travel between worlds, to access alternate realities, to experience infinity. But be careful," he added sternly, "this door can be dangerous. Only those who have reached a high level of spiritual awareness can cross it without risk." A shiver ran down the pilgrims' spines. The Master's revelation had opened up a universe of possibilities, but also of pitfalls. The crescent moon was not only a sign of an extraordinary destiny, but also a key to the unknown, an invitation to explore the mysteries of existence. Genshin dismissed them with a benevolent gesture. "The choice is yours," he said. "You can ignore the crescent's call and live an ordinary life, or you can accept the challenge, follow your destiny, and discover the truth that lies beyond the veil of reality." The pilgrims bowed in gratitude, their hearts filled with questions and expectations. The night was magical. The starry sky seemed to whisper promises of adventure and discovery. Each of them, with the crescent moon imprinted in the palm of their hand, felt ready to embark on an extraordinary journey, a journey of discovery of themselves and the secrets of the universe. Have you ever noticed that some people have a half moon on their thumbnail and others don't? Have you ever wondered if this small detail could have a deeper meaning? And you, are you among those who have it? Or are your thumbnails smooth? If the answer is yes, then this story is for you, and we recommend you watch it until the end. If the answer is no, this story is even more important to you, because what you're about to discover could change the way you see yourself and the world around you. In this video, in fact, thanks to a Zen story and Buddhist wisdom, we will understand what it really means to have a half moon on your thumbnail. And if you stay until the end of the story, we will reveal to you a secret that only a few know, a secret that could open the doors to an extraordinary destiny. But before continuing, if you haven't already done so, subscribe to the channel and activate notifications so that you are informed when we publish new content for your spiritual growth. The sun, like an artist painting the sky, was creating a work of art with shades of orange, pink, and purple as it slowly descended behind the towering mountains that hugged the Zen monastery. A group of pilgrims coming from every corner of Japan had gathered in the Zen garden, a place of peace and serenity, to listen to the teachings of the venerable monk Tanzen. Tanzen, with his long white beard caressing his chest and eyes shining with age-old wisdom, slowly approached the group, and, leaning on his wooden stick, he approached the pilgrims and looked them all in the eyes. His steps were slow and measured, as if every movement was an act of meditation. "Welcome, dear pilgrims," he said in a warm and enveloping voice. "I am honored to share this moment of reflection and spiritual growth with you." The pilgrims bowed respectfully, their hearts filled with gratitude for the opportunity to learn from such a revered master. Among them was Kenji, a young merchant tormented by doubts and uncertainties about his future. The weight of responsibilities and difficult decisions rested on his shoulders, often leaving him without peace. There was also Hana, a heartbroken woman still grieving the loss of her husband. The pain had consumed her, leaving her empty and without hope. His days passed without any color. And then there was Hiroshi, an elderly retired samurai whose life had been dedicated to the service of his lord. Now, in the quiet of old age, he searched for a deeper meaning in his existence. "Master Tanzen," Kenji began, his voice trembling with emotion, "we have heard of the spiritual meaning of having a half moon on your thumbnail. Could you enlighten us on this mystery?" Could you explain to us what is really behind this particular sign that not everyone has? Tanzan smiled gently, her eyes resting on Kenji as if she could see deep into his soul. The half moon on your thumbnail, dear Kenji, is a rare and precious sign. Only 1 in 100 people are said to possess it. A murmur of amazement spread among the pilgrims. Hana brought her hands to her chest, as if to protect her vulnerable heart. Hiroshi, with his posture still upright despite his age, listened attentively, his eyes fixed on the master. And each of them looked at their hands to realize whether or not they had that mark that the master spoke of. Why is this so rare, master? Hana asked, her voice as faint as a whisper. This sign, Tanzan explained, indicates a predisposition for enlightenment, a special connection with the universe, and extraordinary spiritual potential. Whoever owns it is destined for a unique life path, to leave a significant imprint on the world. But what does it mean to be predisposed to enlightenment? Hiroshi asked in his deep, raspy voice. Tanzan sat on a rock, smoothed by time, inviting pilgrims to do the same. Enlightenment, he began, is not a goal to be achieved, but an ongoing journey of growth and awareness. It is the realization of our true nature, the discovery of the inner peace and happiness that resides within each of us. And those who have the half moon on their thumb, Tanzan continued, have a particular sensitivity to the subtle energies of the universe. Those signs are like spiritual antennas, capable of perceiving what escapes the senses of ordinary people. This sensitivity, he added, can manifest itself in different ways. Some may have powerful intuitions, like flashes of light that illuminate the path. Others may be gifted with healing abilities, capable of relieving pain and restoring balance. Still others may have a deep understanding of human nature, reading people's hearts and minds like an open book. Kenji, who had always had a strong intuition, felt a shiver run down his spine. Tanzan's words rang inside him like a distant bell. But how can we cultivate this sensitivity, master? He asked, eager to know the secret. Meditation, Tanzan replied, is the key that unlocks the doors of perception. Through the constant practice of meditation, we can calm the mind, free ourselves from superfluous thoughts, and listen to the inner voice that guides us towards the truth. Tanzan told the story of a young monk named Ryokan, who lived in a small hut on the edge of a village. Ryokan was known for his kindness and deep compassion towards all living beings, great and small. One day, a group of thieves entered his hut and stole everything he owned, leaving him with nothing. When Ryokan returned and discovered the theft, he didn't get angry or complain like anyone else would. Instead, he left a note for the thieves in which he wrote, I hope the things you took are useful to you. If you had asked, I would have gladly given them to you. The night is very cold and I don't want you to get sick. Please also take my blanket to warm yourself. The thieves, moved by his generosity and compassion, returned everything they had stolen and asked Ryokan for forgiveness. From that day, they became his disciples and learned from him the way of kindness and compassion. This story, Tanzan explained, teaches us that true wealth does not lie in material goods, but in inner peace and the ability to forgive. Those who possess the half moon on their thumb are called to cultivate these qualities and share them with the world. Hana, whose tears had streaked silent paths down her cheeks, wiped her eyes with a silk handkerchief. Master, he asked, his voice cracking with emotion, how can we overcome pain and find inner peace? Tanzan took her hand gently, her gnarled fingers conveying warmth and comfort. Pain is a part of life, dear Hana, he said gently. We can't avoid it, but we can learn to welcome it with compassion and turn it into strength. Meditation helps us observe pain without being overwhelmed by it, to let it flow through us like a river flowing towards the sea. Tanzan told the story of a young woman named Kisa Gotami, who had lost her only son. Desperate, Kisa went to Buddha for help, and Buddha told her to bring a handful of mustard seeds from a house where no one had ever died. Kisa knocked on many doors, but in each house he found someone who had lost a loved one. And finally, he understood that death is a part of life, and that pain is a universal experience. This story, Tanzan explained, teaches us that we are not alone in our suffering, and by sharing our pain with others, we can find comfort and healing. Pain can become a bridge that unites us to others, an opportunity to cultivate compassion and empathy. Hiroshi, who had spent his life fighting and defending his lord, was touched by Tanzan's words. His mind, accustomed to discipline and action, opened up to new perspectives. Master, he asked, how can we find deeper meaning in our lives now that our mission is accomplished and we have discovered that we have this mark on our thumb? Tanzan replied, our true mission never ends, dear Hiroshi. As long as we are alive, we have the opportunity to serve others, to share our wisdom, and to contribute to the well-being of the world. Tanzan told the story of an old samurai named Sukahara Bakuden, who had dedicated his life to the art of the sword. One day, while traveling alone, he was challenged by an arrogant and impulsive young samurai. Bakuden, instead of fighting, sat down calmly under a tree and offered the young man a cup of tea. The young man, confused and disarmed by Bakuden's kindness, gave up the challenge and became his disciple. This story, Tanzan explained, teaches us that true strength lies not in violence, but in kindness and compassion. Those who have the half moon on their thumb are called to use their power to promote peace and harmony in the world. The sun had now set, and the full moon illuminated the Zen garden with its silver light. The pilgrims, inspired by Tanzan's teachings, felt full of hope and determination. They knew that their journey had just begun, and that the half moon on their thumbnail would guide them to a bright future. But there was still a secret to be revealed, a secret that Tanzan had promised to share with those who remained until the end. Dear pilgrims, said Tanzan, slowly rising from the rock, the half moon on the thumbnail is more than just a sign. It is a symbol of hope, a beacon of light in an often dark and confusing world. He who possesses this sign, he continued, is called to be a guardian of the light, to spread compassion and wisdom wherever he goes. You are called to be leaders, but not in the traditional sense of the term. You are called to lead by example, to inspire others with your kindness, your integrity, and your inner strength. The world needs you. Tanzan added, it needs your light, your compassion, and your wisdom. Don't be afraid to shine. Don't be afraid to be different. Your destiny is extraordinary, and the half moon on your thumbnail is the seal of this destiny. The pilgrims listened in silence, as their souls were deeply touched by Tanzan's words. They knew that, after discovering that they were the chosen ones, their lives would never be the same again. They had received a precious gift, a gift that they would cherish and share with the world. Have you ever heard of the enormous power of laurel for our physical and mental health? Do you have any idea of how, if used as we will see in this video, laurel can have a positive influence on many diseases and on your emotional balance? In this video, thanks to a Zen story full of Buddhist wisdom, you will discover that if you put a bay leaf under your feet, you will no longer need medicines and you will live more peacefully. So, make yourself comfortable and stay until the end of the video. In this way, you will discover how such a simple ritual can radically change your life. By practicing it, in fact, you will be able to awaken your vital energy, relieve pain, and find inner peace. But before you see all this, if you are new to the channel, subscribe and turn on notifications to be notified when we publish new content for your spiritual growth. The stone path that led to the Zen temple of Komyoji, nestled among the green hills of Kyoto, was illuminated by the first rays of the sun. A group of pilgrims who had come from every corner of Japan were traveling along it to go to the monastery to listen to their mentor. And Kato, known for his profound wisdom and ability to guide people to inner peace and spiritual growth, was eagerly awaiting them. Arriving at the temple, the pilgrims refreshed themselves and then sat in the garden where they would listen to the words of the master. With a slow and measured step, Kato emerged from the temple door, his face marked by time but illuminated by a serene smile. His eyes, illuminated by timeless wisdom, rested on the pilgrims, transmitting a sense of calm. He wore a simple saffron-colored robe, a symbol of his renunciation of material goods and his dedication to the search for truth. "Welcome, dear friends," Kato began in a warm, enveloping voice. "I am pleased to see you here, ready to embark on a journey of healing, personal growth, and spiritual discovery." The pilgrims approached, eager to listen to the words of the wise monk. Kato sat down on a smooth rock, inviting them to do the same, forming a circle around him. The atmosphere was filled with expectation and reverence. The wind blew lightly through the leaves of the trees, carrying with it the scent of the lotus flowers that bloomed in the nearby pond. "Today," said the monk, "I will tell you about an ancient ritual passed down from generation to generation, which has the power to bring relief to the body and soul, promoting inner growth and spiritual awakening." A murmur of curiosity spread among the pilgrims. Kato smiled, knowing he had caught their attention. "This is a simple but powerful ritual," he continued, "requiring only a bay leaf and a pair of socks." Kaito bent down and picked a bay leaf from a nearby bush. He held it in his hands, showing it to the pilgrims. The leaf gave off an intense and aromatic scent, which seemed to fill the air with positive energy. The monk explained that the laurel was venerated by the ancient Greeks and Romans, who considered it a symbol of victory, wisdom, and divine protection. Its leaves were used to create crowns for victorious athletes, to adorn statues of the gods, and to prepare healing infusions and ointments. "Placing a bay leaf under your feet, in contact with the skin thanks to socks," said Kato, "is a simple but effective way to take advantage of its benefits and embark on a spiritual journey towards mental well-being and emotional balance." The pilgrims listened attentively as Kaito listed the 7 main benefits of this ritual, deepening each point with examples and detailed explanations. "Laurel, placed in contact with the feet, relieves physical and mental pain," said the monk, speaking of the first important benefit of this ritual. "The eugenol present in laurel acts as a powerful natural anti-inflammatory, relieving joint, muscle, and rheumatic pain. Furthermore, contact with the earth through the bay leaf helps to release accumulated tensions, promoting relaxation and stress reduction. Think, my dears, that this simple gesture can bring relief not only to the body, but also to the mind, helping us to let go of worries and find inner peace." The second benefit Kato talked about is related to the reduction of inflammation and healing processes. The anti-inflammatory properties of bay leaf, in fact, help reduce chronic inflammation, which is the basis of many diseases. This ritual promotes healing of the body and mind, stimulating the immune system and promoting general well-being. Laurel acts as a natural balm, soothing wounds and speeding up the healing process. Laurel, Kato continued, improves circulation and vital energy. It stimulates blood circulation, promoting tissue oxygenation and the removal of toxins. And this improves vital energy, vitality, and physical resistance. Additionally, laurel is associated with the heart chakra, the energy center of love and compassion, and its use can help open and balance this chakra, promoting feelings of love, gratitude, and connection with others. While the pilgrims listened with great interest to their mentor's words, Kato introduced another important aspect. Laurel, he said, relaxes the muscles and the mind, Its aroma, in fact, has a relaxing effect on the muscles, relieving tension and contractures. Furthermore, the ritual itself, with its simplicity and contact with nature, promotes mental relaxation, helping to let go of negative thoughts and find inner peace. Imagine walking barefoot on a green lawn, feeling the cool grass under your feet and the warm sun on your face. This is the kind of feeling that the laurel ritual can evoke, bringing us into a state of calm and serenity. Still on the subject of calm, the monk underlined how laurel had the power to calm the mind and promote meditation. Laurel has calming and relaxing properties, which help reduce stress, anxiety, and anger, he said. This ritual creates an environment conducive to meditation, allowing you to reach a state of calm and awareness. Laurel is also associated with the third eye, the energy center of intuition and inner vision, and its use can help develop these abilities, opening us to new perspectives and insights. Another great benefit of putting laurel under your feet is that it promotes sleep and lucid dreaming, Cato continued. The aroma of laurel promotes relaxation and induces sleep, improving the quality of night's rest. Additionally, some people have reported experiencing more vivid and meaningful dreams after practicing this ritual. According to the Zen tradition, dreams can be a source of insights and spiritual messages, helping us to better understand ourselves and our life path. But this ritual also has powerful spiritual implications. In fact, it purifies energy and promotes spiritual growth. Laurel is considered a purifying plant, capable of absorbing negative energies and rebalancing the body's energy field, added Cato. This ritual helps to free oneself from energetic blockages, promoting spiritual growth, opening the heart and connecting with one's higher self. Through this ritual, we can let go of the past, forgive ourselves and others, and open ourselves to new possibilities for growth and transformation. One of the pilgrims, named Hiroshi, raised his hand and asked, "Master Cato, how can such a simple gesture have such a profound impact on our lives?" Cato smiled and replied, "Hiroshi, simplicity is the key to wisdom. We often look for complex solutions to our problems, when in reality, the deepest answers are found in the little things, in the daily gestures that connect us with nature and with ourselves." The laurel ritual reminds us that true healing and spiritual growth do not require great effort or complicated practices, but rather an opening of the heart and a deep connection with nature and our true essence. Another pilgrim asked, "Master Cato, can this ritual help me find my path in life?" Cato replied, "Aiko, the spiritual path is a journey of self-discovery. This ritual can help you create an inner space of calm and clarity, where you can listen to your inner voice and find the answers you seek. Through your connection with the earth and the energy of laurel, you can access your inner wisdom and discover your true calling." Cato continued his speech with an invitation. Try this ritual for 15 days and observe the changes in your body, mind, and spirit. Be open to experience without expectations, and let the wisdom of the laurel guide you to a healthier, happier, and more conscious life. And remember that personal growth is an ongoing process, and every step we take toward our true nature is a step toward happiness and fulfillment. The pilgrims thanked Cato for his teachings and took their leave, taking with them a bay leaf and renewed spiritual motivation. The sun, now high in the sky, illuminated their path as they walked away from the temple, ready to embark on a new chapter in their lives, full of personal growth, wisdom, and inner peace. The laurel ritual had ignited in them a spark of hope and faith in the power of nature and their own ability to heal. As the pilgrims dispersed along the mountain paths, Cato remained seated on the rock, observing them with a benevolent gaze. He knew that their journey had only just begun, and that the laurel ritual was only a small step towards realizing their full potential. But he had faith that, with patience and perseverance, they would reach their goal. And you, are you ready to embark on this journey? If the answer is yes, we invite you to try the laurel ritual for 15 days. Place a bay leaf under your feet in contact with your skin thanks to your socks before going to sleep. Let the laurel energy permeate you as you sleep and observe the changes that occur in your body, mind, and spirit. Now, as promised, here is the secret that can change your life. The true magic of the laurel ritual lies not only in the leaf itself, but in the intention you put into practicing it. If you approach this ritual with an open heart and a receptive mind, you will be able to access its full transformative power. So, take a bay leaf, place it under your feet, and let its wisdom guide you. Trust the process and be open to the infinite possibilities that life offers you. Your journey to inner peace, personal growth, and spiritual awakening has just begun. Have you ever heard of the ancient practice of putting your name in salt water? Imagine immersing your deepest desires in a mystical ritual, letting salt water purify them and transform them into reality. What would it be like to be able to live a life full of serenity and inner peace, free from pain and suffering? And what would it be like to find emotional balance and mental well-being by pushing away the things and people that hurt you? In this Zen story, thanks to Buddhist wisdom, you will discover that if you put your name in salt water, you can make your wishes come true. If you stick around to the end of this story, you will discover the incredible power of salt water for your life. And you will know how a Buddhist monk named Ariko helped a young disciple rediscover the joy of living through Zen philosophy and this ancient secret ritual. So get ready for an exciting journey through the snow-capped mountains of Japan, where ancient wisdom intertwines with the transformative power of salt water. We assure you that by the end of this touching story, you will have learned how to awaken your inner potential and turn your dreams into reality. But before continuing, if you haven't already done so, subscribe to the channel and activate notifications to be informed when we publish new content for your spiritual growth. In an ancient village nestled among the snow-capped mountains of Japan, there lived an old and wise Buddhist monk named Ariko. Known for his profound wisdom and compassion, he attracted disciples from every corner of the country, eager to learn from his teachings. His fame was such that even the emperor himself occasionally went to the temple to receive his advice. One day, a group of disciples gathered around the master. Their faces were marked by tiredness and discouragement. They had fought long and hard, facing all kinds of obstacles and rejections, but life didn't seem to give them what they deserved. This is why they felt tired, trapped in an endless routine, destined for an existence devoid of the well-being and peace they had always desired. Ariko looked at them with her eyes full of kindness and said, "Would you like to learn how to break down those barriers that prevent you from reaching your true potential? What would it be like to be able to overcome the waste we have to deal with every day? And what would it be like to be able to obtain what we need to live peacefully?" The disciples, faced with these questions, nodded, recognizing in Ariko's words the reflection of their own difficulties. "You are not alone," continued the elderly monk. "Many of us have faced these challenges. But there's one thing I want you to know. Every obstacle, every rejection is just part of the path to something bigger and more extraordinary. Today, I'm here to share with you something special, something that can change the course of your life in a way you don't even imagine." Ariko paused, letting her words sink into their hearts, and the disciples smiled, convinced that they would soon find out. What I'm going to tell you about is a powerful force, a philosophy of life that will not only help you achieve your goals, but will also allow you to discover a deeper sense of purpose and fulfillment. It's not just a technique, Ariko clarified. It's a way of thinking, of acting, of being. It is a tool that can unleash your maximum potential and take you beyond what you ever thought possible. Are you ready to take the first step towards a fuller, more exciting and rewarding life? The disciples, intrigued and full of hope, nodded enthusiastically. "Then let us join together on this journey to personal transformation," Ariko exclaimed. "A journey where every challenge becomes an opportunity and every dream becomes an achievable reality. It's time to unleash your inner greatness in all its splendor." And so, Ariko began to guide his disciples along the path of awareness and personal realization. By teaching them the principles of Zen philosophy and powerful techniques such as meditation, gratitude, and manifestation, he would give them the keys to a more fulfilling life. One day, while the disciples were meditating by the lake, Ariko told them a legend that had been handed down for generations. It is said that in the depths of this lake lives an ancient and wise dragon, guardian of a magical pearl that contains the knowledge and wisdom of the universe. Legend has it that only those with a pure heart and a determined soul can find the pearl and gain its powers. The disciples listened to the story in amazement, fascinated by the possibility of gaining such knowledge. The master smiled and said, "The legend of the dragon and the pearl is a symbol of the potential that lies within each of us. Inside us is an inexhaustible source of wisdom and strength, just waiting to be awakened, and we must learn to do it." To help his disciples connect with their inner potential, Ariko taught them a special ritual, the salt water ritual. Salt water represents purification and transformation, Ariko explained. With this ritual, you can free your mind from negative thoughts and channel your energy towards your deepest desires. Now, listen to me carefully because I will explain exactly what you will have to do to put this powerful ritual into practice. The disciples carefully followed Ariko's instructions. Taking a blank sheet of paper, they wrote down their deepest desire clearly and precisely. Then, they folded the sheet and immersed it in a carefully prepared bowl of salted water. As the sheet absorbed the salt water, Ariko guided them in a deep meditation, helping them visualize their wish already fulfilled. He invited them to feel the positive emotions they would feel once they achieved their goal, to perceive the joy and satisfaction that would derive from it. At the end of the meditation, the disciples took the paper out of the bowl and left it to dry. Ariko assured them that the ritual had activated the power of manifestation and that their wish would come true if only they continued to believe in it with faith and perseverance. In the following days and weeks, the disciples put their mentor's teachings into practice, cultivating gratitude and faith in the power of manifestation. However, some of them began to doubt when their wishes did not come true immediately. Ariko reassured them, explaining that the path to personal fulfillment is not always linear. There will be obstacles and trials to face, but it is important to maintain faith and never abandon your dreams. Every trial is an opportunity to grow and strengthen, he said. Learn from your mistakes. Don't be afraid to fail. Failure is not the end, but just a step towards success, and it is only by failing that you can learn how to achieve your desires. The disciples, inspired by the monk's words, continued to persevere, facing challenges with courage and determination. And over time, they began to see the fruits of their efforts. Their wishes, once just distant dreams, began to come true, one after the other. As the disciples achieved their goals, they realized how powerful the potential resided within them. They had learned to turn their thoughts into reality, to overcome limitations, and create the life they wanted. Gratitude became a constant feeling in their hearts. They were grateful to Ariko for his teachings, grateful for the experiences they had lived, grateful for life itself. One day, after many years of teachings, Ariko felt that the time had come to leave this world. He gathered his disciples around him and said, "My journey is coming to an end, but my teaching will live on through you. Take with you the wisdom you have learned, share it with the world, and help others find their inner light." With a smile full of peace, Ariko closed her eyes forever. His disciples, moved and saddened, promised to honor his memory by continuing to spread his message of hope, compassion, and personal fulfillment. But what does the story of the monk Eriko and salt water teach us? That all of us, to live a full and satisfying life, must learn to awaken the potential that resides in each of us. This story is a message of hope that reminds us that we can create the life we desire, if only we have the courage to believe and persevere. Like Eriko's disciples, we can learn to transform our thoughts into reality, to overcome limitations, and realize our greatest dreams. All through gratitude, faith in the power of manifestation, commitment, and perseverance. Have you ever thought that itching could have a spiritual meaning? And have you ever wondered if it could be more than just a physical annoyance? What if we told you that itching can hide a deep spiritual meaning that no one has ever told you? A message that your body, mind, and spirit are trying to communicate to you. A secret message that you would do well to listen to, so that you can live at peace with yourself and with the world around you. Sounds amazing, right? But in the heart of Japan, in an ancient monastery, a wise monk named Tetsuo has dedicated his life to studying mysteries like this. And in this fascinating Zen story, we will take you on a journey to discover ancient wisdom and a new perspective on itching. You will discover how itching can be a sign of imbalance, an invitation to healing, an opportunity for spiritual growth. And if you stay until the end of the video, you will understand how to discover when itching is a simple physical annoyance and when, on the contrary, it is a spiritual messenger. But before continuing, subscribe to the channel and activate notifications to be informed when we publish new content for your spiritual growth. The morning sun filtered through the leaves of the maples of the Zen monastery of Komyuji, illuminating the wrinkled but serene face of the venerable monk Tetsuo. His disciples, sitting in a semicircle around him, eagerly awaited his words. Tetsuo was known for his enigmatic parables and profound teachings, capable of touching the heart and awakening the mind. That day, however, the topic seemed, only on the surface, unusually banal and earthly, itching. My dear disciples, the monk began with an enigmatic smile. Today I want to talk to you about a phenomenon that all of us have experienced, but which few have truly understood: itching. A murmur of surprise spread among the disciples. The itching. What could it have to do with spirituality? Master, asked shyly Sakura, a young raven-haired disciple, isn't the itching just a physical annoyance, a symptom of some allergy or irritation? Tetsuo nodded. In many cases, Sakura, you are right, but itching can be much more than just a physical ailment. It can be a messenger, a signal that our body, mind, and spirit send to us to get our attention. A messenger. Taro, an older disciple with a thick white beard, asked curiously, "And what is this messenger telling us?" This, Tetsuo replied, is the question we must ask ourselves every time we feel the itch. What is our body telling us? What is our mind telling us? What is our spirit telling us? Tetsuo scratched his chin thoughtfully, as if searching for the right words. Often, he said, we think of itching as a simple physical discomfort caused by an insect bite, an allergy, or dry skin. And in many cases, this is the truth. But there is another level of meaning, a spiritual meaning, that we often ignore. The disciples listened with growing attention, enraptured by their mentor's words. Itching, Tetsuo continued, can be a sign of imbalance, of disharmony. It can indicate that something is wrong in our life, that there is an area that requires our attention and healing. It can be an invitation to look inside ourselves, to explore our emotions, our thoughts, and our actions. Tetsuo paused, letting his words sink into the minds of his disciples. I remember, he said, a time when a persistent itch tormented me. I couldn't concentrate on meditation, nor find peace in my thoughts. Initially, I thought it was just an allergic reaction to the pollen, but the itching persisted even after taking the medicine. What did you do, Master? Sakura asked with concern and great curiosity. I began to meditate on the itch itself, replied the Master. I observed the sensations, I explored the emotions that came from it. And slowly, I began to understand that the itching was a reflection of a deep anxiety that I had repressed, an anxiety related to an important decision I had to make. And then, Taro asked, "What did you do to make this discovery turn into something positive?" "Once I recognized and addressed that anxiety, the itching went away," Tetsuo replied. "I realized that my body was sending me a signal, an invitation to take care of my mind and spirit." Then, as his eyes shone with wisdom and his smile spread peace, he added, "The itch, my dears, is a call to action. It is an invitation to take care of ourselves, physically, mentally, and spiritually. It is an invitation to find balance, harmony, and inner peace." The disciples were fascinated. Tetsuo's words had opened their eyes to a new way of seeing itching, a way that went far beyond simple physical discomfort. Thanks to the master's explanations, they realized that throughout their lives, they had often felt itching without a specific physical reason. "But Master," Sakura asked, "how can we distinguish between a physical itch and a spiritual one?" "It's not always easy, Sakura," the monk replied, "but there are some clues we can look for. A spiritual itch tends to be persistent, unresponsive to physical treatments, and accompanied by other sensations or emotions, such as anxiety, frustration, or restlessness." Tetsuo continued, "Furthermore, a spiritual itch can manifest itself in specific areas of the body, each of which has a symbolic meaning. For example, an itchy hand can indicate a desire to take action, to change something in our life. An itchy foot can suggest a need for grounding, for stability, to find a place in the world where we can feel like ourselves. An itchy head can be a sign of mental confusion or thought overload." The disciples listened intently, taking mental notes. The lesson on itching became more and more interesting. Tetsuo, looking his disciples in the eyes, continued his lesson by telling about a new disciple who had once arrived at the monastery. He was a young man tormented by constant itching in his hands. He had consulted numerous doctors, but none had been able to find a cause or cure. Desperate, Hiroshi had decided to seek help in the monastery, hoping to find relief in Tetsuo's wisdom. The monk welcomed Hiroshi warmly and invited him to share his story. And the young man told of his hectic life, his stressful job, and his constant dissatisfaction. He had always looked for happiness externally, accumulating material goods and chasing ephemeral successes, but nothing seemed to quench his internal itch. Tetsuo listened carefully, nodding every now and then. When Hiroshi finished speaking, the monk said to him, "Hiroshi, your itchy hands are not just a physical ailment. It is a sign that your soul is restless, that there is an unexpressed desire burning inside you. Your hands, tools of action and creation, are asking you to express your true nature, to follow your passion." Hiroshi was confused. "But Master," he said, "I don't know what my true passion is. I have always done what others expected of me, what society considered right and appropriate." Tetsuo nodded and replied, "Your true passion, Hiroshi, is like a seed buried deep in the earth. It needs to be nurtured, cared for, and brought to light. Start exploring your interests, experimenting with new activities, following your curiosity. And above all, don't be afraid to make mistakes, to try and try again. Only in this way will you be able to discover what truly makes your soul vibrate." Hiroshi, inspired by Tetsuo's words, began to dedicate time every day to self-discovery. He experimented with painting, writing, music, dancing, cooking, gardening. Every activity opened new doors for him, showed him aspects of himself that he didn't know, and slowly the itchy hands began to subside. One day, while he was working in the monastery garden, he felt a deep and unexpected joy. His hands, immersed in the earth, seemed to dance among the plants, creating harmony and beauty. In that moment, Hiroshi understood that his true passion was nature, taking care of the earth and its creatures. And from that day on, he enthusiastically dedicated himself to gardening, transforming the monastery garden into an oasis of peace and abundance. The itchy hands had completely disappeared, replaced by a feeling of contentment and serenity. He had found his true calling, his purpose in life. The disciples reflected on the story they had just heard, understanding the profound message it contained. The itch, like life itself, was a journey, an opportunity for growth and transformation. From that day, Tetsuo's disciples began to see the itch with different eyes. It was no longer just an annoyance, but an opportunity, an invitation to explore one's inner world and find peace, balance, and healing. And so, itching, from a simple physical symptom, transformed into a powerful tool for spiritual growth, a path towards self-realization. In the following days, the disciples began to share their experiences with the itch. Sakura told how an itchy throat had pushed her to express an opinion she had long kept repressed, freeing her from an internal burden. Taro spoke of an itchy leg that had led him to embark on a pilgrimage, discovering new perspectives and renewed motivation in his spiritual practice. Every itch, every signal from the body, became an opportunity to deepen self-knowledge, to face one's fears and insecurities, to free oneself from old patterns and embrace change. And the Komyoji Monastery became a place of healing and transformation, where itching, from an annoying symptom, was transformed into a precious ally on the spiritual path. And Tetsuo, the wise monk, continued to guide his disciples with love and compassion, teaching them to listen to body language and find inner peace.